This eggplant parmigiana is one of the most requested recipes I get, and it's one I've avoided my entire life because, truth be told, I've never actually really liked eggplant. Might make me the worst Italian on earth. But I think I've finally cracked the code on how to make one that I absolutely love, crave even, using some insider techniques to make the crispiest, cheesiest, sauciest eggplant parm of my dreams. But first, we need to do some salting. Sound good? Let's cook. I've got 3 medium to large-ish American Globe eggplants. And you could for sure use a Japanese eggplant or definitely an Italian or Sicilian eggplant. No questions. First, I'm going to slice off the stem end, and then from there, take a thin slice off the end. And then I'm going to slice these into about 1/3 to 1/2 inch thick. One of the main reasons I go this thick is to help them stay firm. If there's one thing that turns me off from eggplant, is when it turns to mush, and slicing them a bit thicker, it will help. At this stage, I'm simply going to spread them out on a rack over a sheet tray lined with parchment paper. Yes, parchment on everything. 15 years in restaurant kitchens will do that to you. Next up, I'm going to gently season both sides with salt, and I'm using Diamond Kosher here just as an FYI. This will help release some of its natural moisture, which will absolutely leak out if you don't do this, and it will definitely make this dish watery, and in return, the eggplant soggy. And for those little end slices, make the only dish I like that uses eggplant, caponata. It's pretty much the best relish on earth. You'll love it. Okay, this is going to sit like this for about 30 to 40 minutes, and you'll start to notice some moisture come to the surface, which is exactly what you want. And so much about being a good cook is being a good steward of your time. So in the meantime, let's knock out a pomodoro sauce. I'm going to peel and roughly chop a 1/2 of a yellow onion, and then it's going right into a food processor along with 3 garlic cloves. Yeah, I'm cheating a bit here, so if you want to finely mince or grate everything, then definitely do. However, for me today, I'm simply pressing the pulse button a few times. Only trouble with this is having to stop to scrape it, and of course getting smoked by onions.
Oh, it's getting worse by this. Oh my gosh.
Gets me every dang time. Alright, heading over to the cooktop, and in a medium-sized saucier pot, I'm going to add in enough olive oil to coat the bottom, what should be about 3 to 4 tablespoons. Crank the heat up to medium, and then add in our finely chopped onions and garlic. Give it a gentle season of salt, and then I'm going to saute this for about 5 minutes. I just want to start to lightly brown up the edges, just like this. Perfect. You've got this, my friends. And at this point, turn the heat down to low and come back and stir it occasionally every few minutes for a total of 15 to 20 minutes cooking time. We want to get these caramelized up and sweetened up. Now for the tomatoes, I just always go for San Marzanos these days. They tend to be sweeter and less acidic, and they're just dang delicious in a sauce. To break down these 2 28-ounce cans, you can go through a food mill or just with an immersion blender until it's smooth with very, very few small little chunks like this. Let's go have a look at those onions. And yes, beautiful. And shoot, give them a taste. They're delicious. Let's pour in the pureed tomatoes and then add about a 1/2 cup or so of water to the cans and give them a little swoosh and add them right to the pot. Now I'm going to add in 6 to 7 fresh basil leaves and a good season of salt and ground white pepper. Stir it up and for sure give it a taste. The absolute best way to become a better cook is to taste as much as you can and at as many stages as possible. Any good restaurant, they have spoons all throughout the kitchens because tasting is encouraged because they want them to become a better cook. I want you to also. I'll just keep this over low heat and it'll continue to reduce and concentrate down and be insanely delicious by the time I need it. Okay, let's go check out the eggplant. Oh yeah, the salt did exactly what it was supposed to do. Now using a paper towel, just pat each slice down on both sides. You'll notice pretty quickly how saturated the paper towels will become. Crazy how much moisture comes out. But we're not done yet. Remember, I want crispy eggplant. So at this stage, we're going to set the trays to the side and place down a large kitchen flour sack towel, or even paper towels work great. Add the eggplant right to the towels and then top them off with another towel. Let's place the trays back on top, and now we need some weight. So how about some cast iron skillets? Always works. This will help remove any last bit of moisture that could be plaguing the dish. Just like one of my favorite chefs used to teach me, you strive for perfection and you settle for excellence. Alright, this is going to set for about 20 minutes, so let's knock out a bit more meat, starting with setting up our standard breading procedure. And I like to use these 9 or 10 inch cake tins, but of course any wide shallow bowl will work. In the first one, I'm adding in 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a season of salt and pepper, and just give it a whisk to combine. Next, I'm adding in 6 large eggs, a season of salt and pepper, and of course again, whisk to make our egg wash. Now last but not least, I'm going to go a step further and make my dad's money Italian breadcrumbs. They're ridiculous. I want flavor and this is going to bring it. 2 cups of breadcrumbs, a half cup of grated parmigiano Reggiano, 2 teaspoons of garlic granules, 2 teaspoons of onion granules, and 2 tablespoons of dried parsley. Give it a good season of salt and pepper. Then, one last little technique, and that's adding in the zest of 1 lemon. This can help kill any bitterness from the eggplant as well as brighten up the entire dish. It's a solid technique. I promise you can pull this off. And give the breadcrumbs a little taste. Delicious. Okay, let's remove the eggplant, and you can see they've dried out quite a bit. This is exactly what we're looking for. One more thing with these and I promise we are done. Add them back over to the racks just to air dry them for about 10 minutes. I want to make sure they bread up really well. And now for a few last things to button up. I've got a 1-pound log of fresh mozzarella. If you have access to buffalo mutts, I highly recommend it. It's delicious. What we want to do is slice this as thin as possible. And there's no need for some huge layer of thick sliced cheese. Don't worry, we're going to get plenty from these thin little slices. Next, I'm going to finely grate some Parmigiano Reggiano, and you'll need a total of about 1 1/4 to 1.5 cups. Can you ever have enough of this? I don't think so. Last but not least, pick about 30 fresh basil leaves from the stems. Okay, let's bread some eggplant. Paging Dr. Chef Parisi. Alright, I'm just kidding you guys. Add an eggplant slice to the flour and thoroughly coat it on both sides, making sure it's completely covered. I like to give it a few shimmy shakes, then it's going right into the egg wash. And the same thing, completely coated. Now I like to use one hand for the dry ingredients and the other for the egg wash. I'm not looking to bread my fingers here, just a little chef tip. Now let the excess drip off and it's going right into the seasoned up breadcrumbs. Shake the pan and then sprinkle some over the top and press it down, packing everything in tight. You want to make sure it sticks. And do it on both sides.
Now, breading eggplant is much more of an Italian immigrant technique, and really one of the biggest reasons is because it makes it fuller, and of course the texture, and in return, it will make you fuller. Now, my grandma knew this because it's a cheap, easy way to feed a big family like my dad's. But a great benefit of it is, to be honest, it's absolutely delicious. My dad told me my grandpa would eat anything with breadcrumbs, and I don't blame him. They're just so good, and I have a feeling you're going to absolutely love this recipe. Once you've breaded up everything, just place them on a rack and do your best so they're not touching. I'm going to let these sit for 10 minutes. This will allow the coating to hydrate and set so that it holds tight to the eggplant when I fry it up. While it sits, let's heat up some oil. Now I usually like to do a combo of olive and avocado oil in a nonstick skillet. Olive for flavor and avocado to stretch the smoke point a bit more. I want to cook the eggplant as quickly as possible so they don't break down. Turn the heat up to medium or so, and the goal is to get this up to 375 degrees-ish F. Remember, when cold food hits oil, it immediately drops the temp if we want to keep this up. Alright, at this point, let's cook. Add 3 to 4 breaded up eggplant slices, and I'm going to cook them for about 90 seconds or so per side, or until they turn golden brown, just like this. And can I just say, it smells ridiculous in here. Once they've browned up on both sides, just remove them and set them on some paper towels to remove any excess oil. And don't sweat it if all the peelings did not get coated in the breading. I promise you, it will not make a bit of difference. This recipe is much more forgiving than you think.
And just repeat the process until all the eggplant has been fried up. And real quick, if you need to swap out the oil for fresh, then do it. You don't want eggplant cooking in burnt breadcrumb oil. All right, it is go time. Bring over the sauce, the fried eggplant, the cheeses, the basil, and finally the pan I plan on cooking this in. It's a 12 by 8 enamel dish, but of course any regular 13 by 9 should work great. I'm going to start by adding a 4 to 6 ounce ladle of pomodoro sauce down, and then I'm going to lay down 3 fried eggplant, 2 going one way and the last one going the other. Next, I'm adding on 6 to 8 of the thinly sliced mozzarella, followed up with a 1/4 cup or so of the parmigiano. Now what I'm going to do is tear 6 to 7 fresh basil leaves and sprinkle them all over the top. From here, I repeat the process with the sauce and the eggplant, although I go the opposite way, 2 this way, 1 that way. Then the cheeses, basil, all the same deal from there. I like to go a little taller with this, so I'm going 4 layers deep. Now to finish this off like my grandma would, add on another ladle or 2 of the pomodoro sauce on top, the remaining mozzarella, and parmesan. This is going to be a cheesy masterpiece, straight up. Real quick, if you have any leftover pomodoro, we'll use it at the end, or if there's even more leftover, it freezes super well and it's the perfect sauce to use all week long. Alright, let's get the eggplant parmigiana into the oven on a middle rack at 375 degrees F for 40 minutes. While we wait, I'm going to make a family favorite Italian chopped salad. The best part is, you pretty much use what you have on hand. It's incredibly delicious. You can grab that recipe on my website at billyparisi.com or at the link in the corner or in the description below. Okay, back to the eggplant parm. Seriously though, this already looks incredible. But I really like the top to be a bit darker, so how about I switch it up to the broiler on high heat and let it brown up for about 3 to 4 minutes. And yes, this is what I'm talking about right here. And gosh, does it smell insane in here. I cannot wait for you to make this. I seriously can't believe I'm saying this about an eggplant recipe. And now for the hard part. I'm going to let this sit for 20 minutes. If you slice into it right now, it's going to completely fall apart. It needs to cool down for a bit. So in the meantime, try not to go too crazy waiting. Because when it's ready, you get a big old slice yourself of deliciousness. And would you look at that? My goodness, amazing. For plating, I lay down a bit more of that pomodoro, add a slice of that eggplant parmigiana, then to finish it, a bit more parmigiano Reggiano, a hint of lemon zest, yes, it's worth doing this. Last but not least, some fresh chopped basil, and this right here. Dang.
Now to finish this off the right way, my cannoli are where it's at. And I've got a great recipe on my website at billyparisi.com. I'll see you there. Dude, it's delicious. I'm at a loss for words. I don't even know what to say. I will absolutely make this, and you should too. Yo.